God looks at you with sentimental value. Okay? That's what I just got just now. God looks at you with sentimental value. You know, usually you hear that when somebody has passed on and someone that you loved has given, or something that someone has loved, if I generalize it, has given someone or left someone a family heirloom or some piece of clothing or something like that. And it could be something big or small, it doesn't matter. When anything is spoken of that is referenced as sentimental value, something with sentimental value. But God just gave me the message that you are of sentimental value. Let's look up the definition of sentimental. No, that's not what I said. Okay, sentimental. Of a prompted by feelings of tenderness, sadness, or nostalgia. Of a work of literature, music, or art, dealing with feelings of tenderness, sadness, or nostalgia, typically in an exaggerated and self-indulgent way. Of a person excessively prone to feelings of tenderness, sadness, or nostalgia. I am sentimental old fool. I am a sentimental old fool. Okay, that was just an example. That last sentence I said. Tenderness, sadness, and nostalgia. It's giving like this energy that I'm getting from, it feels like God's energy. Like, I heard Christ consciousness and I'm hearing multiple things. Hold on. It said tenderness. When I say tender, I automatically think of TLC, tender love and care, right? Tender. So the heart of God, the heart of the Creator is tender for us, his chosen ones, his children. God's heart is tender for us. I'm just getting this energy, like, I just want you to do the right thing with what you have. Be careful not to fall into an open ditch. Fall into an open ditch. God's heart is tender for us, but oftentimes, due to temptations, we go the wayward way, and that is the wrong way. I heard choose sovereignty. Excuse me. I heard choose sovereignty, not the wayward way. Okay. Okay. So, have you guys ever thought about this before? I think about this all the time. It's something that crosses my mind, I think, every quarter of the year. You know, every 3 months, I think about God's feelings. For us to be so, for us to feel so much, and we are created in God's image, that means that God feels everything just as we do. And we had to, because this is part of the master plan. But when we do feel, we have to know what to do with our feelings. That's a part of the I heard it's a part of the ways of life, then I heard the fact of life. It's a part of the lessons of life, the school of life, school of thought. Okay? Imagine creating something that you find beautiful and then realizing that it's flawed. And then trying to figure out how to fix it. Like, you know that saying, I created a monster. I created a monster. You know? Frankenstein. What happened to Frankenstein? Why he came out here? I haven't even thought about Frankenstein in a long time. Frankenstein. Can you give me a short? In Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the ambitious scientist Victor Frankenstein creates a being from body parts, but is horrified by its monstrous appearance and abandons it, leading to a tragic chain of events and the creature's descent into vengeful violence. Wow. Okay, Victor Frankenstein's ambition. Victor, driven by a thirst for scientific knowledge, dedicates himself to creating life, ultimately assembling a creature from various body parts. The creature's creation and rejection. When the creature comes to life, Victor is disgusted by its appearance and abandons it, leaving the creature alone and vulnerable. I mean, what did he expect it to look like? Putting a bunch of different body parts on it. Like, hello? Gotta think before you move. The creature's loneliness and despair. The creature, rejected by society and his creator, experiences immense loneliness and despair, leading him to seek revenge. This is very symbolic. I see why they gave me Frankenstein. I have so many thoughts going through my head. Let me just read. Tragic consequences. The creature's actions, fueled by his suffering and rejection, result in the deaths of several people, including Victor's family and friends, creating a cycle of tragedy and violence. Themes of creation, responsibility, and nature versus nurture. Nature versus nurture. The novel explores themes of scientific responsibility, the sequence of playing God, and the impact of societal rejection on the nature of the creature. Societal rejection of the nature of the creature. I heard, I'm a motherfucking monster. Just heard that. First things first, I eat your brains. All right, so God created us. Looking at us is just beautiful. Wanting us to be beautiful, happy people that do beautiful, wonderful things. But then the antagonist of the story arrived and threw us off. Because there's always been an opposing force. Because there must be an opposing force when it's necessary. And once we are exposed to a certain something, and we are so malleable as a people, instead of going our own way, we are more likely to go the ways of how can I put this? The ways of the ones who are received in that zone of time. Like, you know, whoever is doing something that people have a tendency to gravitate to is usually the route that most people will take. The route of the ways that they see most prevalent in society, regardless of if it is promoting regardless of if it is promoting death. Okay. So that just shows that God's creation, which is us, the people, have a really difficult time using our thoughts for the greater good and knowing when to say no, like being disciplined enough to say no to certain things and to activate our soul's reason for being and wanting to align with the ways of your own spirit. Because when you align with the ways of your own spirit, you're going to be very different from the ways of the world that you see, because it's not you. You're just here, but the ways of the world are not necessarily you. It's up to the person that holds the soul and the spirit to make the decision to go the opposite direction. Now, the problem is there's not enough people going in the opposite direction. You know, people are more likely to go do what they see in like mainstream. Like, I'm gonna do that because it's like the main attraction. It's making me think about an action park, and there's like, I don't know, like one of these action parks, I don't even want to say a certain one, but an action park, and there's certain rides there that are like main attractions, and people, that's like the first ride that they think about going on. They want to go there. They want to go on the ride. And but then other ones that already know that the line is probably going to be long and all that, excuse me, they're like, you know, I'll go on another ride because it's too busy over there. And that's the person to be like, oh, is the ride really that good anyway? I'm just going to go the other way because I actually want to go on this ride, even though everybody's talking about that ride, because it's kind of it's like puffed up. Certain things in life are puffed up. And I mean, like, they're exaggerated so that people could want them, so that people could desire them. And usually it does have some type of validity when it comes to people appreciating it, because it's the clout that the ride has is from the people, because it has good reviews, like people rave about it. But it doesn't mean it's that good. It's just the people that puff it up. And sometimes people pay for reviews. People pay for other people to review. So it's not an authentic review. It's paid for. Like, you know, it's many times, you know, reviews and like the commotion that rises for a certain something. People could pay for that commotion nowadays. It's not always real. Okay. Sometimes the most exciting aspect of the situation is exaggerated to bring on attention. Publicity stunt. Okay. They really out here. Everywhere. So now, that was tenderness. That was tender. That was a tender part. Now, sentimental value, it also said sadness. So, imagine you have a child and you do everything that you can to try your best to have them or guide them on the path of enlightenment. Okay? You do everything. I'm going to give an example like this. This is a child that did not have any like traumatic experiences. And these type of stories always make me question things a little more, because many times when people go through things, people have a tendency to link it to trauma. But every now and again, there's people that just come here wilding out, like as soon as they're born, like they be a problem. Maybe not as soon as they're born, but there's just little things that they do as they get older where you notice that something is off, and then they become monstrous in their actions, and they could become violent and hurt people and stuff like that, right? But they didn't have any problems. They had 2-family household. You can't blame it on the fact that the mother or the father was gone. Like, you know, and this always tickles my brain, because I'm like, what happened? And then what I end up going to is that it has to be past life coming into current life. So they still have a bunch of past life things that need to be corrected, because this way of being that they have, that's how they were in their past life. And they just happen to end up with a family that is actually good, like a good family, you know. And maybe that happens in hopes that that environment would change that person's soul. Because I haven't watched in a while, but I've been too busy to be watching stuff. But at the same time, I remember everything that I watch most of the time. And excuse me, these types of stories always intrigue me, because you can't blame it on trauma. You can't blame it on the environment, because they were in a good environment, in a nice residential area, living in a home, very well kept, food always on the table. You can't use what's not available to use to pin it on that. You can't pin it on trauma, because this person didn't go through trauma, but they went outside and they were stripping. So I just give that to past life. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. If you guys think anything, let me know. Maybe something going on in the brain, the wires are crossed. It could be like a birth defect, maybe. Could that be a birth defect? That's interesting. Somebody being like aggressive or like angry. Could it be a defect? I don't know. That's gonna mess with my brain too. It's gonna tickle my brain. Okay, but anyway, that's sad. That's sad for parents that do everything that they can for their child to do the right thing, take care of them, make sure they're well kept, you know, clean. They have everything they need. They don't need for anything, but they still go do things crazy in the darkness and nobody knows. Like, you know, okay, so that right there's that. And that's the sadness. That's where the sadness comes in. And what was the other? There was a third something. Hold on. It was tenderness, sadness, and something for sentimental. Oh, nostalgia. You know how when we might do something that we don't think was the best for us to do, and we have nostalgia, thinking about what we could have done differently when we reflect. And these are for the people who do reflect, because I know some people don't. Which, if you are one of those people, try to rethink that. You know, rethink the reason why you don't reflect on your own life and your own choices. And ask yourself, does that make sense? Because if you don't reflect, you must remember that you'll keep on doing the same or making the same mistake over and over again. So it'll be very difficult for you to grow. You'll end up being very stagnant, and you'll stay the same, you know. So if you're someone who doesn't reflect on one's own devices, choices, okay, like the decision making and analytical thinking and all that, if you don't do that, really think about trying it, because it could save your life. Yeah. Now, nostalgia is making me think about God, like God's thoughts. Thinking about the Garden of Eden. I created these beautiful beings in my image because I want them to know that they are like me. I want them to know that they can create just like I created them, and they are creators as well. I want my children to know that I am their guide and I can take care of them. I want them to know that I can show them the way. But how can I make sure that they listen to me? If I was able to speak them into existence, then I can speak them into doing the right thing for oneself, because I know that my words are magical. I know that my words are powerful, right? And these are God's words. Like, this is what I feel. This is what I'm being given right now. I just got lightheaded. And my father said he got lightheaded yesterday. That was weird. Why am I lightheaded? There's no reason why I should be lightheaded. It's probably spirit doing that. I drank water. I'm not thirsty. I'm not dehydrated. Like, what was that? Well, let me get some more water, because I don't know about what happened. I felt the woo-woo. You know the woo-woo? You know what I'm talking about. You know when you stand up too fast, or if you was working out and then you get up too fast, it's like, hold on, wait a minute. You know those feelings? That's what just happened. But I'm sitting down. I didn't even do anything. Or am I sitting down? Maybe my consciousness did a reach and then came back, because I felt like, ooh, real quick. But I made you to do what I do so that we could live a beautified life. I just heard a beautified life. Hate it. I just heard the reason why people have such a hard time hearing me is because they detached from me. This is why so many people can't hear me, because they detach themselves from me. And it's like God just said, I am energy. I am energy. So if you, now I'm seeing infrared light, like, you know the one, is it called that? Yeah, I think. You know what I'm talking about when you use that, I don't know, it could be like special glasses or some type of lenses where you could see body heat. And I believe that there's some animals that could do this. But they're giving me the infrared, and you know how there's like colors, and you can see the images of the heat. It's like fiery red and orange and lime greens and blues. And you see like the outline of like people. You can pick up the body heat. You can pick up temperature in general. What is that thing called? Thermal imaging. It says, in the medical field, thermal imaging cameras can detect changes in body temperature, aiding in the early detection of conditions like breast cancer. But they use that also. They use this machine, like I've seen it in like war movies, or hold on, thermal used in Thermal cameras, also known as forward-looking infrared systems, are crucial in warfare for detecting heat signatures of target signatures. I always talk about signatures and codes on us that are encoded and encrypted on our vessel and within us, on our soul, on our spirit from God. Now, it's like I heard trip the wire. Trip the wire. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to many places. I have to stay focused. When I get quiet, bear with me, please, so I can tell you a thing. Trip the war. I did not mean to say that. No. I said the wire, but I don't know. Maybe I did type war. Trip the wire refers to a wire stretched low to the ground that, when tripped, activates a trap, alarm, or other device. It can also figuratively mean to trigger a negative reaction or event. Trip the wire, booby traps, security systems, or even emergency stop mechanisms on industrial equipment. All right. Wait, what was that? A person who is psychologically tripwired might be described as easily agitated or prone to negative reactions. Tripwired. You remember when I said people that come here and they're born with a really good family? It's almost like they just answered my question. Hold on, they're doing a thing. Okay, let me just talk. Remember when I said maybe it's because it's a birth defect and their wires are crossed? Yo, people need to go check their brain. Like, for real. Okay, so yeah. Did I just read this? Let me read it again because it literally just went with everything that I was saying before. A person who is psychologically tripwired might be described as easily agitated or prone to negative reactions. You ever see a kid and they just angry? And it's not always because of trauma. It's something going on in their brain. Trip. And it says tripwired. Like their wires are crossed in their brain. And they never got the help that they needed in a past life, so that crossed wire, it follows them. Because it's something that needs to be repaired. Okay, let me go back to where I was because they keep bringing me to different places now. They start doing this ping, ping, ping. Pinging my brain everywhere. Okay, did I read all this? I'm going to read the infrared information again about the thermal cameras that are used in war. It says thermal cameras, also known as forward-looking infrared, is abbreviated as FLIR systems, are crucial in war for detecting heat signatures of targets, enabling surveillance, patrolling, and weapons targeting even in low light or obscured conditions. Night vision. Thermal cameras can be used as a form of night vision, offering an advantage over image intensifier based night vision technologies, as they do not require external light sources. Improve situational awareness. Thermal imaging enhances situational awareness of soldiers and commanders, enabling them to make more informed decisions and react more effectively to threats. Targeting accuracy. Thermal imaging systems can help pinpoint target locations, improving the accuracy of weapons targeting and reducing the risks of collateral damage. It says forward-looking infrared systems, which is the FLIR systems, when abbreviated. These are common systems mounted on vehicles, aircraft, and other platforms for long-range surveillance and target acquisition. Okay, I think that's enough with the infrared. It's giving me enough to go back to the point where the reason why I even went there. I was speaking. I was letting God speak through me to you. He said, God said, I am energy. I am energy. God is energy. God is also a frequency. Frequency is energy. It's all together now. Okay? What God is saying to me is that when you don't act right and you're not wearing your own signature, when you're not wearing your own signature and you're wearing the codes and signatures of someone else because of your actions, it's difficult for God to see you. Ooh, why do I feel like I want to cry? Hold on, God, don't do this to me right now. I'm always so emotional. I feel like feeling everything. Okay. I'm going to try not to cry today. The Creator knows his children through our frequency, our energy. What energy are we providing to the people then? What energy are we emitting from our vessel? Our mind, our body, our soul, our psyche. Our psyche is all of those things. Mind, body, soul, and spirit. Psyche. I understand that mistakes are made before you get here sometimes. I understand that could happen. An anomaly. Let me look up the definition of an anomaly for you just so you know the term. Something that deviates from what is standard, normal, or expected. And in the tech field, like software testing, an anomaly is referenced as like a defect or a bug. Okay. So, defect, the trip-wired people, the people that do in fact have problems with their brain. Many times it's from it could be something from a past life or something that happens, like anomalies, like a defect that happens before their spirit hits the mother's vessel. That's what they're giving me, okay? You don't have to believe me. It's from spirit, so there's no way for me to be over here giving you proof and stuff. I can't do that. I can only give you what has been given to me. I am a spiritual being, and I have powers. Okay? Look, you guys have powers too. I'm freely speaking about mine. I don't even give a damn no more. Okay, so, this is in the area of nostalgia. Oh, that, okay. I am energy. If I notice, the way I notice that if you are mine is if your energy matches mine. If your energy does not match mine, it's hard for me to see you, so it's hard for me to protect you. I heard I too have infrared vision. I could see in the dark, but I still need to see the correct code. I still need to see your signature. It's gonna make me cry. Hold on. Give me a minute. I'm trying to talk. Hold on. Every time I try to talk, wait a minute. I am giving you permission to rewrite my signature on your heart so that you could lighten up. You're burdened with being who I didn't make you to be, and now I can't see you to help you, and you're not showing yourself to me. I am energy. I have night vision. I can see in the dark, but I can't see you if you are not acting as your source. If you are not acting as your creator, I can't see you to help you. If you do not reach out to me with your frequency, I can't help you because I can't see you. I can't see you. I heard my responsibilities are greater than you know. This is not as easy as you think. Wait. God, you're making me cry. You remember the other day I was talking about the person who's like the leader in the family? God is the leader of our family. And y'all be giving him, I know him, her, I know. But y'all be giving him too much work to do. You know, he can make things so easy. Mother, Father, God, our Creator. Yes. I have my own experience with God. That's why I label God, I say usually him, because of my own experience. And I'll tell you that one day when I feel led to. But you know that part of this Frankenstein story, it said, wait, I gotta find it. Okay. When the creature comes to life, Victor is disgusted by its appearance and abandons it, leaving the creature alone and vulnerable. I heard you gotta figure it out yourself. You have to figure it out yourself. I can only guide you, but if you don't listen and you choose not to listen, you must know that you have your own will, so how are you going to use it? You have to use it in order for you to change your own life. I heard many blame me as if I can use your will for you. I cannot use your will for you. Because it's a gift. That's like God taking your will back and saying, oh, I'm just make you do what you do. It doesn't work that way. Just to simplify it, it just does not work that way. You have to use your own will. I know those best who know me, who show me that they know me through their frequency. Those are the ones with those energies that people have a tendency to be, I heard, to scoff at. The reasoning of the scoffers is because Their soul misses me. This is God's words. Their soul misses me. The soul of the scoffers miss me. I am familiar, but they reject me because of what they've been taught in this realm or earth. They reject me because of what they've been taught, and they don't want to detach from what they've been taught, but they're choosing to detach from me. Their soul really loves me, but they don't listen to their soul. Their soul is inactive. So the attitude that you receive from the scoffers, those who scoff at the chosen ones, the ones who choose to use their will to uplift the authenticity of the frequency, God's frequency, Christ consciousness, are those who look the best, those who have the most energy, those who they have understanding, those who have like this innate ability to love. It's like an innate ability to love. That's because the chosen ones are those who are utilizing their actual signature that was written on their heart by God. Now, over time, the signature gets erased, but God gives us the ability to rewrite the signature. We can rewrite it. We can rewrite this story that was created for us, but it's a choice. Okay. This one made me emotional. They done took me to infrared war zones and medical imaging for detecting cancer, disease. I heard most of the time when I look down, I see disease. When I look around, I see disease. What color is disease on that camera, that medical camera? I was about to stop, but I can't. Hold on. What color does cancer show in the infrared camera? Red or yellow? The cooler areas appear to be blue or green. But anything that's either hot or cancerous, cancer and heat, cancerous tissues often has a higher metabolic rate and blood flow than normal tissue, leading to increased heat emission. It says red and yellow indicate warmer temperatures and potentially cancerous tissue. Blue and green indicate cooler temperatures and normal tissue. And when I asked that question, I said, what color is cancer in the thermal camera? I heard red. I didn't hear yellow, but I heard red. But it's red and yellow. Red and yellow. Root chakra and solar. No. That's interesting. The cancer is shown as red and yellow in the thermal camera, and the solar plexus chakra, also known as the Manipura chakra, is also located in the upper abdomen and is associated with personal power, willpower, self-esteem, and confidence. Willpower. When you don't use your willpower correctly, you cause cancer and disease. That's what I'm getting spiritually from what I'm being given. I was just thinking about something else. Hold on. Green, healthy. That's the heart chakra. Green. The root chakra is red. And then blue. That's the throat. So many people that have chosen not to use their will and listen to their soul's cry, they end up getting sick. They be sick spiritually, and then when you're spiritually sick, you end up being physically sick. It's like it's all connected, you know. And individuals that have trouble in their root chakra and their solar plexus, they are likely to hold anger. Like, that's a place where anger can begin to bubble. It starts from the bottom and rises to the top. I just heard, keep on rising to the top. Give it all you got. That's interesting because now it's making me think about Kundalini and how it rises. The snake, the spine, 33rd vertebrae. It's all connecting. Okay, so the root chakra, also known as Muladhara, Muladhara, I think it's Mudra. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's Muladhara. That sounds like Indian. Is the foundation of the chakras system, located at the base of the spine and associated with feelings of safety, security, and grounding, as well as basic survival needs. Survival. Yeah, the root chakra, survival. When you're in survival mode, it's easy to have trouble with your willpower and with how you communicate. Your root messes with the chakras at the top. So if your root is not right, everything else is going to be all crazy. It's going to be not like misaligned. And then that's when people start tripping. Trip wired. Wires crossed. Because of the sickness, the disease of ignoring the soul's cry and not living life with your own signature, with your own code that has been encoded on you since before you got here. You acting like somebody else. God is energy, God is frequency. He can't see you. He can see in the dark, but you're going to look like all the diseased people if you're not working from a place of the authenticity that has been placed on your heart, because it has been erased over time because of I heard imminent attraction to the ways of the world. Imminent attraction to the ways of the world. Imminent. About to happen. Imminent attraction. About to happen. Ready to take place. Happening soon. Okay. You know all of these things that are happening in the world when it comes to altering your body and our altering the mind and all of these things that are going down because of all of this wonderful innovation that sometimes is not used for good purposes. There's more that's coming because that's just what it is. There's more that we haven't seen yet. There's more on the way. And the more alterations or the more opportunities for alterations that come, the more tempted many will become. Ready to take place, happening soon. Imminent disaster, danger. It's like self-destruction. That's basically. So you have to be strong enough to not walk into self-destruction. If you've already did some alterations, just, don't feel too bad, because I don't want you to feel bad about it, because, this happens. It's confusing. This is a place of confusion. It's like we're living in a place of illusion, like in the movie A Wrinkle in Time. Everything was an illusion. They were hungry. It's reminded me of the first illusion when they ended up being in the place of illusions. They had a name to it, but I know that there was like, it looked like dark. It actually looked like nanos in the sky, now that I think about it. It looked like nanobots swarming around. And that was the place called the It. But what was the It had another name in that movie. But they were on the beach in this dark, Camazotz. Okay, it was called Camazotz. The place, it's like we're in the Camazotz right now. If you've never seen A Wrinkle in Time, that's like one of my favorite movies. If you've never seen that, you should go see it to see what I'm talking about. But when they ended up in the Camazotz, everything was an illusion. Things that looked so delicious and they were hungry, it was actually not what they thought it was. It wasn't like healthy nutritiousness. It wasn't. They had thought there was a bunch of food there and they were hungry and they started eating it. And the girl that was there was the only one that was like, don't eat that, because she felt the energy. She felt the frequency wasn't right. And her little brother and her friend were hungry and they started eating, and then everything turned into sand. By the time they really got deep into it, everything just turned into sand. It was an illusion. So the illusions are about to get more heavy outside. It's about to get worse. So this is why Spirit, well, this message wasn't even really from Spirit. I mean, God is Spirit. God is Spirit. Spirit is energy. Yes, it's all together. But this is a message from God, because God was speaking through me. God made me cry this morning, because I just heard I'm sad for so many that I have lost. I'm so sad for so many that I have lost. I can only do so much. I always say God is not a genie. God is a guide. Okay? But yeah, the illusions there's going to be more. So don't be one to fall for them. Okay, I think that's it for this message. I feel like I need to go get some tea now. I need to go meditate or something, because that just made me emotional. I'm still kind of emotional, but I'm just like being normal right now. But I still feel a little, I feel sadness. I do. It feels sad. I'm putting myself in God's frequency, and it feels like a little like somber. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And then I just think about how we're made in God's image. And if my daughter, as I have a child, I know what it feels like to have a child. After everything that I've taught my daughter, if my daughter just decided to have tripped wires, not decided to, but if her wires ended up just being tripped in her mind, and she just gets older and is outside tweaking, which from how she is now, I don't believe that would be, but it is possible. I can't say what decision she will make and how she will use her will. But looking in the lens of God and just looking at how many individuals choose to live their lives, that's heartbreaking. Like, if my child just decided to be outside, tripping, hurting people, acting wild and crazy, that's heartbreaking. Especially when you know you did your best to give that child everything you possibly could to prepare them for life, and then they do the opposite. It's like hurt, you know? And I think that's why I feel somber, because I understand. And I hope you guys do too. I know that was different. It was different. I know this be different. But just know that the gifts that we have, we might enjoy them, but they're actually for not just us, it's for everybody. The gifts that I could have been selfish and kept all these things to myself and not share with you, but then what is the point? What is the point of that? Me sharing my gifts, it is me being a role model for you so that you could be comfortable to share your gifts. Because many of you could do things that I can't do, and then I'll be like the one listening, like, oh, what you say? Oh, well, I've been waiting for something like this. Where have you been? You know how many people are waiting for you? Even me. Where you at? Come tell me a thing. Because I want to know. But anyway, now I gotta go. I'll be back later though. Okay? Till the next episode.